applying pressure to help me crystallize. And you've got the faith that I could bring paradise. I'll forgive and forget.
Today we're going to do another edition of Sex Signals with the beautiful Katie, or an interview regarding sex signals with the beautiful Katie. And we're going to dive right in. We're going to start talking about sex signals. But first, I just want to welcome you here.
Thank you.
And Katie has a lot of experience in this area. This is one of her expertise, as she went on 200 dates in 1 year as an experiment after reading the game, which was something that inspired her to go out and just really explore your life around dating. Is that correct?
Well, and I'd just broken up from a long relationship, and I was trying to jump back on the horse, to say. So I needed to experience sex with someone new for the first time for 7 years. So it didn't really kick in 6 months till that first man that I met. But yeah, I then took it when I broke up with the number 5, let's call him. I then decided to...
So number 5 was the boyfriend.
No, number 4 was a boyfriend.
Okay.
Number 5 was the first person that I dated 6 months after I broke up.
So you didn't date anybody for 6 months?
No.
And then you dated somebody at 6 months. Okay.
Yeah. Then when we broke up, I decided to reverse cycle the game and apply it to a single female and see how that worked. And and it failed miserably, but it was great experiences.
Well, what do you mean by reverse cycle the game? What's your goal in a reverse cycling the game as a woman?
Well, just manipulating men, I think.
Okay.
I just felt initially completely horrified that that I might have been, I don't know, hoodwinked into something that I didn't agree to.
So you saw the game at the time. I know we talked about this earlier, but at that time, at that age, I think you said it was 27, right?
Yeah. You
saw the game as manipulation at that time, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And so there was this whole sense that you wanted to, is it get payback? Is that the right word?
I definitely wasn't payback. I mean, I'd only been with kind of 4 men at that point. You know, I hadn't really had much experience, and I wanted to test the water of like how far I could test men's patience, really, and what I could do to them. So I just became pretty manipulative. And
so the goal was to test men's patience, and I'm really curious, you became very manipulative in what way? What were you doing? What were you getting them to do? What was the outcome? I'm super curious.
Well, I would organise breakfast, lunch and dinner with a different man. I would bring girlfriends, make the guys pay. I would go on a date with one guy that I'm sleeping with and then go home with his best friend. There's not much that I have to
So
tell.
while you're out on the date, you dump him and move to the other one?
Yeah.
Wow. I've never seen this side of Katie, because she always seems so sweet and loving and nice. And so this seems a little harsher.
I know, I've got really sweaty.
So I'm assuming in that period of time, because you almost made it sound like you slept with 200 men. You didn't sleep with 200 men.
No, in that year, I slept with 9 men. So okay. The percentage was what, 5%?
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah,
okay.
Give or take.
So I'm sure some of them out there were going, wow, 200 men.
No.
So we also talked about this, that you said it's much harder as a woman to get laid than men think.
Yeah, it is. It was. I mean, the first guy, so after number 4, I'm 27. That's 4 guys I've slept with. One of those was a 7-year relationship. I just wanted to go and get laid. I wanted to jump back on the horse, and I would go out every weekend, and I would, be very saucily dressed, and I was pretty much a scared chicken, really. I couldn't really... Got one night with lots of tequila. I span around the room and I just went, you'll do. And I made that guy go and pay for a hotel room, stripped him naked, went and vomited, came out, said I couldn't do this and went home. Left him naked in a hotel room.
I bet he
with no happy ending.
Yeah, so it was after he paid for it, he was pretty bummed. Huh?
Yeah.
So then, Well, then it does sound like so. There, let's go back to the old saying: it's easy for a woman to get laid, but a guy has to work.
Yeah.
And in this scenario, it does sound like it's easy for a woman to get laid, but not necessarily easy in the sense that she has to get out of her own way. So is that what you're saying?
Well, if a woman's displaced, I find, well, for me, if I'm displaced and I'm not sincere, then I think a guy can feel that too. That's what I think about me. I mean, when I'm the most confident, I arrived in LA about 4 months ago, and in a week I got asked out 20 times, and I was like really confident and really, full of life. So it's just, at that point in time in my life, I was miserable. I was misunderstood, and I didn't. So I found it hard because I don't think I was.
But there's the point you just said in there that you spun around the room, you looked, and you said, "You'll do." Now I don't know that works too much for men if they do that to a woman. So there is that sense of ease right there.
But then I was just as charming as a guy could be.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't take much. I mean, you just need to smile at us and talk to us like, you know us, and we feel comfortable with you, and you could get away with anything, I think, with me during that time.
So you're saying, because you made it sound very simple, and to the average guy out here, they're just saying, it's not that simple. I smile all the time. I'm nice to girls all the time. They don't respond to me. So what are you talking about that's unique in that area? Because I always find that everything is actually very simple when you get down to it. It's hard till it becomes simple. Once it becomes simple, you wonder why it was ever hard. And because you finally get it. It's like, oh, now this is really easy for me. And I think this is true with dating. I think men on average, a lot of men, not all men, have a hill to climb in this area. They do have a hard time with it. But not all men. Some men have an abundance, like women every night, all the time. And so what is it that makes it simple? Because it's not the game. The game is a lot of work.
No, it's being charming, and coming across for me, I think more of as a friend with a flirtation.
Yeah. So friend, that's an interesting word. Let's play with that, because a friend has a whole different connotation than the game.
I think with me, like if a man comes up to me, I don't know whether they like me or not. So then I then test the water and we'll play. Okay. And then that becomes a challenge for me.
Can I get him to start chasing?
Yeah.
And so where does this friend part come in?
I guess it's coming from, maybe I don't mean friend.
Well, what I hear in there, and tell me if this is true,
yeah,
is can I trust him, friend?
Yes.
Okay. And I think that's super essential. I think for women out there, and you tell me if this is true, for women out there, I feel that for them to feel safe going home with a guy, there definitely has to be trust. For them to be turned on, there doesn't always have to be trust, but I think trust is an essential ingredient, whether they'll take it to the next level or not. Would you say that's true?
Yes.
Yeah. With a little flirtation.
Yes.
Showing that they actually like you.
And being convincing, and always being in that moment. Don't give us a moment to doubt you, because then we'll go.
Well, I think that's the big key right there. Being convincing and never letting you doubt. And that's where every guy out there gets it wrong. They all work on techniques to try to get the girl, but what they're really trying to do is create such powerful sub-communication that they have no doubt that you would like them. Then no doubt that they can turn you on. No doubt they can please you. And no doubt that they would be pleased by you. And in that, you feel claimed in a sense. Or would you say that's correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I love your wording. It's very, I think it says it all. And I just like to play with the different words you're choosing, because they're good words.
You apply pressure to help me crystallize, and you've got the faith that I could bring paradise.